right. Welcome back to What She Says Sports. All right, guys. I'm in here. All right. It's another girl. It's with a heavy heart that I shared a link to Dom's service. Thank you, Nikki, for sending it via email. I did watch it. It's funny. I saw Shedeur in a photo in Boulder, and it didn't even dawn on me that he was there for the service. But he was at dinner with, I think it was Khalil Benson. I thought it was actually, what is his name? Justin Mayers. Turned out that was Khalil Benson. So I guess they were all there coming into Boulder for the service, which was today. And if you look into the link, into the comments, you'll see a link right here. It says Dom service. So just copy and paste it. And thank you, Nikki, for sending that over. All right. So, I saw his mom, his dad, I think it was his sister, little sister, and his older brother. And I think Coach Prime gave the eulogy, and several of the players and people that knew him got up and spoke. It was a beautiful service. I just hope that they can find peace, right? His sister smiled a little bit. His brother, Shedeur was there to play his last respect. So, people noticed that he came in for that. But it was just really sad, that everybody gathered for that occasion, right? I saw a photo, excuse me. I saw a photo of, excuse me. I saw a photo of Dom and his little sister. And it was Dom, not Dom, but yeah, him and his little sister when they were younger. And it was a photo in the swimming pool. And it was a bunch of noodles. And I looked at that, I said, I have the exact same photo with my son and my daughter. The exact same photo with them side by side in the pool, playing with the floaties, just posing for the picture. The exact same photo. And my son is older than my daughter. And it just I ended up wearing a shirt today that I didn't realize I was wearing, but it says grateful. And I was thinking, I'm grateful to have my children because they lost Dom. So it's just never an easy thing. And it just gave me a really heavy heart. I had to work myself through to get ready for this show, right? So may he rest in heaven, right? May he rest in heaven and may his family find peace. All right. So there was photo circulating of Shedeur out there here. He was at the service. That's Dom's father. That's Dom's older brother right there. And they got the football in their hands. So that's Coach Prime. So, I'm glad they had it while they did, but I know it's going to be tough and it's going to forever leave an imprint to feel like, a chair is empty or something. So, but I'm glad Shedeur took the time to go in. Not that he wouldn't, but it was nice to see him take the time to go in and pay his last respects, right? So fly high, Dom, fly high. All right. So if you want to watch the service, I put the link in the chat. Okay. All right. All right. On to the Cleveland Browns. Couple things. First and foremost, before I get to Cleveland. Huntley signed a 2-year contract, securing him in Baltimore. Shout out to Huntley because people were suggesting that he go be the 4th option in Cleveland, which is gross. And it was Tony Grossi that said it. So shout out to Huntley for being valued by the Ravens as a backup for the next 2 years. He did not need to come to Cleveland and be the 4th option to be cut and waived off the list like he has for the last 2 times. And somebody was talking to me in the comments and they were saying that Dom was cut. I mean, excuse me, Lord heavens, that Huntley was cut and that maybe coming to Cleveland was good. I'm like, no, there's other teams. Go to another team then, but they secured him for 2 years and the fans were happy. The fans were really happy about it. So I'm happy about it. And I'm happy to watch Huntley play in the backup role, right? And I assume they need QB2 as a backup. I don't know. We're going to have to see because Cooper Rush was over there too. But Huntley did a mighty fine job that they should just be able to have Lamar and Huntley. Let me know your thoughts about the Ravens signing Huntley for 2 years, 2 more years. I'm happy for him. He seems to like it there, and they appreciate him, right? And even if they cut him or whatever, and he couldn't go anywhere else, that probably was just a tactic about the money. If I had to guess, they did that to waive him, and then he like, oh man, I really want to go back. And then whatever they offered him, he probably took it and did negotiate. That's a tactic. I'm not saying that's what happened, but that's the negotiation tactic to get for the company to get what they want. They release the person, and then they know the person really want to be there. They know the person is good. They know somebody else gonna pick them up. But hey, we want to offer you X, Y, Z. And the Browns talking about the fourth option, was just enough to make somebody wish they go run it back to where they came from. So they probably got him for the money that they wanted to spend. But I think he's happy to be there, and that's what matters most. I mean, companies cheat people out of money all the time. So that doesn't mean they don't value him per se on the field, because the Browns would not have. He was cut there twice. So shout out to Huntley. All right, moving right along. The Browns need a cornerback. They get ready to let go of somebody. And, I thought of somebody. I said, oh, I know somebody that would be a really good cornerback, safety. I think maybe it was safety. They need a DB, okay? And I know one. This guy right here. And I posted on X. You know what? The Browns should get Shiloh. And I haven't seen Shiloh. Maybe he's been somewhere working out. I haven't seen him. So I'm wondering if he was kind of maybe getting ready, because it's the trade season coming up. And free agency is coming up. So maybe he's putting in some trading and we just haven't seen him. And it's kind of smart to do that, right? Just 100% go in and focus and give it all you got. So I thought maybe come to the Browns, right? Shedeur's over there. And since they have a need, and Shiloh's good, right? Shiloh's good. So let me know what you think. The Browns need seemingly Shiloh's skill set. So let's see what y'all think about Shiloh going to the Browns. I know y'all think it's a wonderful thing. I think they should give him an opportunity. If not, Atlanta apparently needs one as well. So I was like, well, maybe. But then again, I don't know. I just think the Browns is perfect timing and a perfect fit for Shiloh to come up there. I hope they at least give him a tryout. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So I think maybe that's what Shiloh might be, getting ready for free agency and getting a tryout. So hopefully he got a heads up that he'll get a few tryouts in there. So let me know what y'all think about Shiloh coming to the Browns. Not saying it's going to happen. I just think it's a good thing. Okay. Now we're getting a little bit closer to the topic, the caption. And I posted about Jeudy yesterday. That's what we talked about, because the Browns have a 30-30 with Cornell Tate. And then I took a poll, and we're going to look at the results of who it is that the Browns maybe should draft as wide receiver 1. But before we do that, some information just came my way about an hour before I went live. So I looked into it to see what it was. Now, I posted this in the community because I wanted to see what y'all think, but I didn't have time to make it back to see what y'all were thinking, so I'll check it later. It's reported, not by a lot of sources, but by one particular source, I think Yahoo News and somebody else reported that there seems to be a rift, if you will, between the Browns and Myles Garrett. But I don't know if that's the exact word. And the reason why I say that is the reason they said the rift exists in the first place is because Myles Garrett, ever since Schwartz was fired, the Browns have not been able to get in touch with him after Monkey was hired and Schwartz was not the guy and didn't come back. Thoughts? He's human. He's thinking crap. It's been since what, 2020? He's been there since 2020. They said it. Schwartz got a A-, a B+. Schwartz was one of the best people they had. They played in a man face and acted like they were going to get him. But what the Harbaugh, he spilled the beans. The Browns were always there. And I believe it because Muckett is part of the Manning inner circle of coaches along with Steve Sarkisian. And where the hell is Arch Manning? Texas. Who recruited Arch Manning out of college first? Muckett. Right there to Georgia. And then Muckett got hired away to Baltimore. So the dominoes are being stacked, and seemingly Schwartz was used and let go. And Myles is sick of the merry-go-round. He probably regrets signing there again. He didn't anticipate any of this, I'm sure. And I'm sure when he made his decision, it's because Schwartz was good and they had the number 2 defense, that type of thing. But they done pulled the rug from under Myles Garrett and they just want him to suck it up. So if Myles Garrett hasn't spoken out to the Browns and it's not against his contract to do so, screw them. He's human. People sick of y'all. I mean, come on. Just because you can force these players during the regular season to bend through intimidation and coercion and retaliation does not mean in their free time they got to pick up the phone for you if it does not state it in their contract after you fire their coach, after they win Defensive Player of the Year and they put together the number 2 defense, and now you want to start over. Now you want to start over. Shout out to Myles Garrett. To hell with the Browns. That's what I say. So I'm not saying he's going anywhere because he probably can't because he just signed that contract. But let's see if they try to move off of him. And I doubt it because that's a lot of dead cap space. So I doubt it. His contract was guaranteed, as far as I know, $160, $140 million. So they just at the beginning of that relationship, 2.0. So the second go round of their relationship. So if he in his feelings, he has every right. It's justifiable that he'd want to take a step away from the team because he's going to have to come back to that crazy house. So why should he not put up the Heisman and be like, I need some peace? He needs to protect his peace. We saw them do what? We saw them hold back Myles Garrett. He's sick of that. Everybody is not with that, right? So I'm not surprised that, that kind of got out because who knows that, right? Who really knows? But somebody on the inside of the Browns organization that Myles Garrett had reached out. Myles Garrett not saying nothing on social media. So somebody on the Brown side put that out there. Or was running their mouth in the elevator where people could hear. And I doubt that that's what it was. So somebody on the Brown side put that out there to make it seem like Myles is difficult. What they going to do? Cut him? They put that information out there about his speeding ticket. I wouldn't talk to you either. All the people that probably got speeding tickets in Cleveland, and you keep putting out Myles out there, and you only put Myles and Shedeur out there, and only Myles and Shedeur got robbed. Hell, maybe he put 2 and 2 together and realized it's 4. Yeah. So he wants peace. Let him have it. If it's not a violation of his contract, keep it pushing. Thoughts? Let me know your thoughts. Shout out to Myles Garrett. Protect your peace, bro. Protect your peace, because if you notice you let these people use you, they just going to discard you, just like they did Schwartz. All right. So, let me put this on the screen. This is Shedeur. All right. Shedeur Sanders. It's reported as all you keep hearing is the Browns gonna keep who they have. Shedeur and Deshaun gonna compete. People expecting Dylan to depart any day now. Rumor is Kyler Murray probably will end up in Cleveland. That makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense for Cleveland for Stefanski to be the head coach to try to push Kyler Murray out the league. Makes a lot of sense. That's what he did to Deshaun all this time to make sure he don't come out here and ball out. So they seemingly trying to send Kyler Murray to be handled over there in Atlanta. So what does Atlanta have to do with Shedeur? Everything. Everything. One of their players, his name is Moody. It's a wide receiver. And they let him go. Let me give you a little bit of context, okay? And you're going to start to see some similarities. So early in the season, I told y'all that the Cleveland Browns and the Atlanta Falcons had a lot in common with the toxicity running through the locker room, because in Cleveland, Shedeur was being mistreated. And in Atlanta, a wide receiver coach was fired, a black guy, even though he wasn't the problem. The problem was the OC, but they blamed the black guy. Then they brought the OC out the booth after they fired the black guy. And one player similar to like a Myles Garrett, but not as big on their depth chart, I guess, spoke out about how it was terrible how they treated the wide receiver coach and fired him. He wasn't the problem. And then they booted him out, right? Intimidation, retaliation, scapegoating, all of it, right? So I said all of this was happening in Atlanta, just like it was happening in Cleveland. And where does Kevin Stefanski land? Atlanta. So that means you want to just keep it going, but you want him to do a better job so he can keep the lid on it, because we talked about how in Cleveland, Shedeur was being sabotaged and wasn't nobody want to stand up. And with the people that did, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, who just had his contract restructured, and Jeudy, who seemingly was compromised. Okay. Um, those were the three people that spoke out and said he was ready to go. He should be the guy, etc. But then they all three got retaliated against, or in Jeudy's case, somehow coerced into a situation, which makes you think they got something on him or they offered him something. So either bribery or extortion. Pick one. Because he didn't do it voluntarily because they were all doing it at the same time. So that means they talked about it. It was a plot. They planned it, right? So while not as widespread in Atlanta, the point I'm making is this came down to firing the wide receiver coach. Now, I watched a few of their games, and I watched this one player, last name Moody, pull a Jeudy before Jeudy did. And then I stopped watching him after that. Then we was watching the Browns because Shedeur wasn't playing. So Moody was playing early in the season, drops. And I heard somebody else say it today. Fans were like, it's about time he get cut, this, that, and the other. So I was like, oh, they use him like they use Jeudy, and they fired the black wide receiver coach. And they just intimidated and coerced people over here. And they said Stefanski over there. Right? So I said to myself, this is just like those coaches. So if Moody was let go, so get this is the timeline. There's problem in Atlanta, just like there's problem in Cleveland, but there's problem in Atlanta first. Michael Penix Jr. was being set up, basically. I said it was the OC. I even told some Falcons fans, your OC is problem. He's setting up Michael Penix Jr. Moody and one of the linemen were being used to stop running on their routes or drop the ball, drops. Let's go with the drops. And then you had one of the linemen was letting the dude through. So I saw everything I saw with Shedeur in Atlanta before I saw it in Cleveland because Shedeur played toward the end of the season. But Moody was the guy. And Moody's behavior was the black wide receiver coach was fired for Moody's behavior. But it was the OC. Just like Tommy Reese said what about Jeudy? I love Jeudy. We're going to continue to feature him. So Tommy Reese, the OC, just like Zach, whatever his name was, in Atlanta, both were seemingly, I'm going to be very careful here. It appears that they were following the same script and using a wide receiver with the drops, the underperforming. What happened in Atlanta, the black wide receiver coach get fired. Players speak out about it. This one player who was the most vocal got kicked to the curb. Now they fire Moody. Now they fire Moody, and Falcons fans like they should have been firing him, this, that, and the other. What happened to Moody after his drops, after he succeeded? He got injured and moved out the way. I think he was gone for the rest of the season. Whereas Jeudy was allowed to stay and sabotage all the way through, right? From Shedeur's time there, right? So I can see what's happening between the two teams, right? Now the question is, since Moody was let go and he was problematic as a wide receiver, should the Browns now move away from Jeudy? And does Jeudy sense that this is the case because the Browns scheduled a 30 for 30 with Cornell Tate? So are the Browns trying to move on the low from Jeudy by having a 30-30 with a number one wide receiver coming out of college, just like the Falcons moved on from Moody? Do you see it? Let me know if you see it. See, we talked about the picture with Jeudy and Shedeur, and I said, now what brought this about? Whose idea was this? Right? I want to know, was it Shedeur wanting to work out with Jeudy, or did Jeudy get the bright idea after he heard about Cornell Tate's 30-30 to go, hey, let me go work out with Shedeur? Right? I think people have come to the realization that Shedeur is week one starter. So we're going to talk about why he finished the season, played the most games last year, got them in the playoff hunt. They won't commit to him. Now they want to keep Shedeur and Deshaun. He going to be the week one starter, but they can't commit to him at QB1. Help me understand that. They have plans. I just heard right before I went live, people talking about Batonio probably still going to be right there. They just dragging it out. They just dragging it out. When you see Batonio talking about for one more year, and then you see Jeudy over there, they didn't get rid of the saboteurs. Atlanta got rid of the saboteurs. They sent Zach, whatever his name was, the OC, to Tampa. They pushed out Raheem Morris and the GM, not that they were the saboteurs, but they changed up things so you can't see it. And then they got rid of the one that was dropping the ball that was causing problems, like Jeudy. So, what do y'all think about that photo now that you know that Cornell Tate has a 30 for 30? He's first round pick. He went to Ohio State, which brings in the Ohio fans. Y'all know they got a fan problem over there. They trying to bulletproof themselves. If I bring in wide receiver 1 who played right here in Ohio at Ohio State, I can move off of Jeudy and just take that dead cap space because I do it anyway, right? It's not I don't think it's a whole lot, but then again, it might be because he just got that contract. If not, I'm playing in Cornell Tate's face, or I'm going to draft Cornell Tate and keep Jeudy for, I don't know, for what ungodly reason. But what do you think about Atlanta pushing out the saboteur, just like they, Callahan was fired, Daboll was fired, but they went elsewhere. So that really don't matter. But what do y'all think about Atlanta pushing out the guy after scapegoating the head coach and moving out the OC that sabotaged quarterback? What do y'all think about that? Can you see that that's what's getting ready to happen in Cleveland? And is that the reason that maybe Jeudy wanted to pair up with Shedeur, whether Shedeur asked or not? Because one of the things we learned about Jeudy last year, we learned he don't like to stay extra and do extra work. But here he is, super early, working out with Shedeur. So what the hell is his message to those that can see the photo? Yeah, I'm willing to do it again. Keep me around, boss. Or, don't cut me. I'm about to get cut like Mooney. Let's see what Mooney lands. And it better not be Cleveland. Because I could see AB doing it. I could. Along with Haslam, I could. And don't think that they ain't talking to Stefanski Company. Don't think that. They just changed geography. They know they still got each other's phone numbers. What do you think about that? That's interesting. Seeing their workout out of the blue nowhere. Don't know who came about it. But wanting to keep Batonio, wanting to keep Jeudy. How can you really want to keep Jeudy after what happened? You see, Atlanta let Mooney go after what happened. And fans were happy. So it seems to me that Jerry should be the next one out. Let me know your thoughts. So, Shedeur being QB1, unofficially, I said that the other day. Shedeur is the unofficial QB1 because the Browns won't commit to him at QB1. But they are content with, he's the day one starter. What does that do? It builds up all this anticipation and marketing and likes and clicks, but to see him start week 1. Flacco started week 1, didn't he? Isn't he gone? So, Shedeur, being the best quarterback they've had in decades, playing the most games out of any quarterback last season, getting them in the playoff hunt, will start week 1, but can't be QB1. So here's what I'm seeing here. We know you're good. We just don't want to commit to you. What do y'all think about that? We know you're good. Yes, there's likes and clicks involved, but we know you're good. So we can't let you play 18 weeks. But we can let you start at week 1 and use the whole offseason to build up to seeing you in week 1. And we know when you were in Paris, we signed up for that game between the Saints and the Browns. So I'm pretty sure we'll see Shedeur at the helm of that game. I don't even know the date of that game. I feel like it's October 5th. So we're going to see Shedeur start the season and Deshaun and or somebody else close it. That's what we're going to see. Shedeur's going to start the season. They're going to rotate quarterbacks per usual. Shout out to Huntley for staying in Baltimore. Rotate quarterbacks per usual and do what? Let somebody else close it. See, last year it was 3 of them. It was supposed to be 4 with Pickett, but he was gone first. It's going to be 3 of them again. It's just not going to be Huntley. It's not going to be Bailey Zapp. But it could be Ty Simpson, the other player they have a 30 for 30 with. Can you see a situation where they get Cornell Tate, wide receiver 1, first round? I don't know where in the first round, but somewhere in the first round. And Ty Simpson, 3rd round, where they had Dylan. Why? Why would they get him 3rd round? Because they want to get somebody else next year, 1st round, who's at the University of Texas. So I'm not getting Ty Simpson 1st, 2nd, maybe not even 3rd. It was already suggested that he'd be a late round pick. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Could be 5. Could be 5. So the 30 for 30s that the Browns have scheduled signal that they could get another wide receiver, but it doesn't mean it will come from the draft. I read right before I went live that they successfully restructured Denzel Ward's contract, seemingly only freeing up $2 million in cap space. I was like, I don't even know if I read that right, because it was supposed to be, I thought they said $13 million, but it said $2 million. So that's 45 from Deshaun and 2 from Denzel Ward. That's $47 million. And free agency money, trade, whatever, free agency money. That's not for the draft. So that explains why they could meet with Cornell Tate, who's a 1st rounder. But the Browns haven't drafted a 1st rounder since 2016, unless they ready, because they building for next year. I got Munkin. I could get Cornell Tate this year. How often did the tight end Harold Fanning Jr. play? So he could be a Harold Fanning Jr. type player, meaning, okay, Jerry Jeudy's over there, but I'm going to put you in certain situations. But don't forget, there's Isaiah Bond that actually was Arch Manning's wide receiver. So if they don't get Tate, I'm not going to be surprised. Should they get Tate? Sure. Let's talk about this poll right here that I put together. Okay. All right. So I asked the question, with Shedeur status at QB1, starting week 1, start week 2, he probably going to play. How many games he played last year? 7. He going to play 7, 8. Let's give him 8. And I said they're going to win 7 games. All right. And then they're going to switch off to Deshaun. Now, personally, I don't think they want Deshaun to get out here and show what he can do, because the pattern of behavior from these ball clubs, like with Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, what's the pattern of behavior? They push them out slowly. Even if they went to the playoffs, I'm still pushing you out, because that's the overall goal. Somebody had the audacity to suggest that Russell Wilson come and back up Shedeur. Why do y'all keep only suggesting black quarterbacks? Black quarterbacks are not even a majority. And since you whittled it away from 16 to 12, I mean, they not even the majority, nowhere near the majority of the starters if they only got 12, 11, or 10, right? So why do you only keep bringing up black quarterbacks? And matter of fact, I think Cam Newton did a podcast on the QB class for this year's draft. And I told y'all, this is the first class. Nobody's black. Not a single quarterback. This was their goal. They thought they was going to get Dante and push him down. So, this is the first draft. You probably going to see some linemen at the top and less wide receivers. They already don't respect running backs at the top. Ashton Jeanty went 1st round to block Shedeur. People don't believe me. They needed a way to get rid of that 1st round pick at number 6. Remember, they had the number 6 pick, I think. And to say we don't need a quarterback, that's how they got Geno Smith. So you use the draft pick, Ashton Jeanty, which they don't really draft running backs 1st round like that. So we're going to get Ashton Jeanty to block Shedeur in the draft, and we got Geno Smith to block him at the QB position. And as y'all can see, it's some foolishness going on, because Max Crosby made his way to the Ravens, and now Everybody excited about the Ravens. They're like, okay, the Ravens are definitely going all the way. I'm like, okay, this gonna be interesting because they still collude against Lamar. So maybe they finish. I'm like, maybe y'all finish. I want to see how this gonna go because you have watched these people hold Lamar back, cheat him from his MVP. When it was time for free agency, 32 teams passed on him the way they passed on Shedeur. So all of a sudden, because they got Max Crosby, we finna go all the way. Thoughts? Thoughts? I find that I'm like, I'm looking for the play. So right here on the screen, you should see that the poll said, while Shedeur status at QB1, which wide receiver should be the Browns and should come to the Browns in the draft. So Jordan Tyson played for the Buffs, 17%. Now, fun fact, Jordan Tyson, yes, he played for the Buffs. He's Arizona State. I think that's where Omarion went, Omarion Miller. Now, he's listed as number 2 in the draft prospect because they said he's injury prone. That's the term. And overall, they said he should be number 1. Well, if he's good enough to be number 2, he might as well just go ahead on and be number 1. So basically, they're saying Cornell Tate is not the best wide receiver. He's just not injury prone. When it comes to Cornell Tate and Jordan Tyson, Tyson is the 1, but injuries are a little scary for him. So we're going to make him the 2 and Cornell the 1. I think the Browns should get Jordan Tyson. That's what I think. I mean, we're talking about if this was true, trying to put together a winning team and chemistry and Shedeur. And if you say Shedeur gonna be your starter for 6-7 games first week or whatever, because you're gonna piecemeal it out, but you know what you're gonna do. The same thing you did last year, 7 to 8 games. You might as well just go ahead on and get Jordan Tyson as number 1, unless you already know what wide receiver 1 you want to bring in for next year. And to me, that's where Cornell Tate comes in at. Because had they committed to Shedeur, they would get Jordan Tyson. Because Jordan Tyson can't be that injury prone that he could be the second best wide receiver coming out in the draft. Think about that, right? So Cornell Tate is 57%. People say he should be first, but it is acknowledged Jordan Tyson is the better wide receiver. I don't think the Browns want to entertain Jordan Tyson. It has nothing to do with his injuries because they don't want to bring in anybody that is already connected to Shedeur. Do you see that? They don't want that because the kid is 2, right? He can't be that bad of an injury prone because he wouldn't be 2. So third on our list is Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon is tied with Jordan Tyson. He went to USC. And then Denzel Boston went to Washington where Michael Pickens Jr. played and Warren Moon. I think I remember that. 10%. So Denzel Boston seems to be in the right place, 4th. But it's when it comes to Mekhi Lemon and Jordan Tyson that they're in a tie, right? And I wonder if they're in a tie because of the injury-prone conversation narrative that's happening around Tyson. So it seems that Tyson is the better wide receiver 1 in a perfect world where competition mattered in Cleveland and they wanted to win. You already have Shedeur as your QB1 and Jordan Tyson is your wide receiver 1. That's what she said, sports prediction. That's what it should be. The kid can't be too bad if he the 2 and you get Cornell Tate as the 1. And I don't even know if the Browns gonna get Cornell Tate. I mean, they could just be playing in Jerry Jeudy face, trying to make him hop, skip, and jump again, right? Because he don't like to stay late in practice and all that. So the fact that he wanted to team up with Shedeur, I don't know who decided it was a good idea. Tells me that he knows about the 30 for 30 and he could be pushed out, but he also knows he got a guaranteed contract. So why would he care about it? Because if he's shipped out somewhere else, he's not going to be wide receiver 1. So he's going to lose his spot. And Cornell Tate's 30 for 30 puts him on notice. So when he show up with Shedeur, it could be, yeah, I got you, boss. I got you. I'm going to do it again. Oh, we're going to boot you out of here and get Cornell Tate. Can you see it? So Jerry Jeudy's situation is quite interesting because he should be gone. If the Falcons moved off of Mooney after scapegoating the wide receiver coach and then moved out the offensive coordinator, they should move. That means the Browns should move off of Jerry Jeudy. If you move off of Mooney for some drops, you definitely got to move off of Jerry Jeudy. How can you even keep Jerry Jeudy? Right? So that's what Mooney being released says. They use him and they let him go. Let's see where he land, and it better not be Cleveland. But I can see it. Instead of getting Cornell Tate, oh, well, hell, we could get Mooney because we know what he's capable of. Tell me you don't see it. So that's an interesting development that we weren't considering. That's called the unexpected. It's the unexpected to us because we don't follow the Falcons that way, but I'm here in Atlanta, so I do. I just don't talk about it. And I went through the comments after Mooney was let go. This was 2 days ago. So I went through the comments earlier, I think it was yesterday or today, and started reading. And the fans were ready for him to go because he was problematic. So how can the Browns keep Jerry Jeudy? And he was way more problematic than Mooney because Mooney got injured. Some people said Jeudy couldn't catch the passes from Dillon. I said, well, that tells you that he knew the agenda was to not win. And that's why they paired him up with Flacco, because they didn't expect much. They didn't want much. So Cornell Tate is the 57% choice of What She Said sports community, podcast community. I still want it to be Jordan Tyson, but the Browns don't want to win, so screw it. It makes sense to get Cornell Tate from a business perspective because he went right there to Ohio State. You bring the local star over to the Browns, then you get you some locked-in fans despite Shedeur. So I can create buzz around Cornell Tate and take some of that accountability coming from the Shedeur side of things. Can you see it? I can see it. So let's see if they do it because they haven't drafted a wide receiver in 10 years, since 2016. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. But to summarize, Jeudy should be gone. Jeudy should be gone. So that's what's happening. Jeudy should be gone. But Mooney better not come to Cleveland. So y'all better look and see where Mooney lands. Oh, Stephon Diggs. We were talking about him. Apparently, he's prioritizing the Carolina Panthers. So he might end up in Carolina. Any Panthers fans in the house? I heard that Stephon Diggs might be coming y'all way. So let me know what y'all think about Stephon Diggs showing up with the Panthers. But these are the receivers that we think should be in contention. I say Jordan Tyson is first. Cornell Tate is second. But I want to win games, and the Browns don't. So so they don't have, they want to get Tate because he went to Ohio State, and it gives them likes and clicks because he the, hometown star, that played at the local college that everybody loves and worships up there. So I think it should be Jordan Tyson. It makes sense. Shedeur was already there. Jordan Tyson was a buff. Jordan Tyson is the best person. He can't, best wide receiver. He can't be too bad if he number 2. Let's see what happens. All right. I want to see what y'all think. All right. Hopping over to the comments. Oh, members, I'm working on a video. I have to get some sleep first, and then I'll do it. I'm going live after this, but I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. So if not tomorrow, if I don't get it out tonight, then I might go live tomorrow. Hey, Ramon, how you doing? Hit the like button, everybody. All right. So I said a lot. So let me know what y'all think about everything that I said, because I said a lot. It said, good evening, What She Said sports family. Thank you so much, Crowley, for sending me to, what is it called again? Magic City Monday. And I want to thank somebody else too. Shout out to y'all. Let me quickly get the other person's name I wanted to thank. Okay, so I had people to send me a cash app, whether it was $1, $5, $10, or whatever we want to send me to the game, so I can get closer to the action and live stream the game from March 16th, which is Hawks versus Orlando, Magic City Monday. There's been a lot of talk about this Magic City Monday. It's supposed to be a good game. Angel Reese's boyfriend, Wendell Carter Jr. plays for there, so I think it's going to be a good game. And they got a lot of other good players. So shout out to Crowley, who sent me a cash app. Appreciate you. And shout out to, second. I want to make sure I get this person's name right. Tesha, Taisha, or Tesha. Either way, if you're in the chat today, thank you so much. So Tesha or Taisha and Crowley are sending me to the game, so I'll be live streaming it from there. It's not too late. Cash at me. I'm just gonna get a little bit closer, a little bit closer. I bought a standing room only ticket because they are high. Normally they like $20, $50. This one was like $100, $105 because it's that kind of, that's one of those marquee games because it's Magic City Monday and they playing the Orlando Magic. All right, so y'all know my Cash App, $ what she says sports, just like the channel, so you can know you landed on the right Cash App page. $1, 5, 10, don't matter. Thank y'all so much. I'm just going to live stream the game and get as close as possible as I can with your help. Thank you so much. All right. And be on the lookout. I might ask y'all to send me to Shalomai's team. Alabama A&M is probably going to be in town in Atlanta in the next couple of days because the SWAC women's tournament is here. And I think next Wednesday, her school, which is undefeated or number one in their division, is coming to Atlanta to play the team that wins the third game or whatever. So that's $25. So if you want to cash at me, you can send me to that. I can buy a ticket to that. $1, 5, or 10, it don't matter. Now that game is at 11 in the morning. I'm like, okay, if y'all cash at me the money, I'll get up and go and live stream it. And Shalomai, she plays for Alabama A&M. But that's up to y'all. I put that one on y'all. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Yes, Crowley, the place to be. It said, welcome back. What she said, chat family. It said the best YouTube show, Nola Queen. Thank you. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you so much. It said, let's go, gang. Hey, Tina, how you doing? Thank you for the link of the service. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Crowley. It said, I'm happy for Huntley. That's great. He knows his value. Facts. And so do the Baltimore Ravens. Like, I think it's a good partnership, right? I think it's a good partnership. Because Lamar was, how many games did he miss? 5? Did he miss 5 games? I think he missed 5 games with injuries. They popped him in the back and they let him get hit, roughed up. They did. They let him get hit and roughed up. They let Jordan Love get hit and roughed up the same way. They let Shedeur get hit and roughed up the same way. So signing Huntley is good because, if something go down with Lamar, Huntley will be there. And I think they value him and the fans seemingly love him. They were celebrating on X. So shout out to Huntley. Shout out to Huntley for staying to be more fast and for knowing who he worked for, because stay right there. Stay right there. It said, I'm happy for Huntley, and he didn't allow the Browns to play in his face. Fact. And that he know how to read the room, because let's say if the money was a little less than he wanted, right? Because I do believe that was a negotiation tactic to waive him and see what happened. And then he'll come back and we could get it for a little less. I'm just saying, that's just general business. That's not about Huntley. That's not personal. That's how businesses work. They look out for their bottom line, right? So it seems to me that Huntley knew how to read the room and didn't feel like, well, since y'all cut me, I'm gonna go and do this, that, and the other. It don't work like that, because you just gonna get retaliated against when you get over there. So shout out to Huntley for being able to read the room. You know who else can read the room? Quinshon Junkins. Quinshon Junkins, I told y'all the other day, Quinshon Junkins can read the room because they tried to pin him down about the quarterback, and he didn't do it, right? And in his interview, there was a part of his interview that went further, and it was talking about Shedeur, and he said all of the things that he went through or what he endured. So people took that little clip and used it and sent it out into the social media atmosphere by saying Shedeur was sabotaged. I'm like, I didn't need Quinshon Junkins to say that. Nobody needed Quinshon Junkins to say that. He didn't actually use those words. He just said what he endured, what he had to go through. So they felt like he was confirming that he was sabotaged. Did anybody in this chat need Quinshon Junkins to say, based on what Shedeur endured, that we needed confirmation that he was sabotaged? Really? So whatever. I'm just happy Quinshon Junkins can read the room. That means he know they trying to cross him up. He know they trying to cross him up. And he might want to think and ask, did him getting devalued while he's working out on his contract negotiation had anything to do with that little wickedness of the case that popped up? See, people can't conceive how that could have came about. It's simple. It's very simple. It's called money. It's called money. You pay somebody that they know to come back and cause a problem. It just like we talked about Shannon Sharp when he was at that gym. I was like, did you really think she liked you like that? You ain't know she was the OnlyFans model? See, you got to know how to play the game. And if you don't know the game, you gonna be the game. So Quashawn Junkins not the game, but he better keep his head on the swivel because that comment, people taking it and running with it, and they love to retaliate over there. They love to retaliate. So shout out to Huntley, shout out to Quashawn Junkins, and shout out to Myles Garrett. They tried the same thing with Myles Garrett last year. Fans were like, "You need to come back from Japan and come back to what's that called? Involuntary, the involuntary period." I'm like, that's when I started to learn that they try to coerce them into giving up their vacation to make it seem like if you don't come back when it's involuntary, we're gonna do something to your position or something like that. We're gonna make it harder for you. Myles Garrett didn't worry about that last year, and he is not worried about that this year. So they try to push the narrative that the Browns haven't heard from him. I'm like, it's the offseason. What the hell do you want? That's like your boss is upset because they can't reach you between 6 and 5 a.m. 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. What you calling me for? The clock. See, Myles Garrett treats it like a job. See, they don't like that. Too bad. It's the job. It's just the job. It's not a plantation. It's just the job. It's not slavery. You're not going to buck break him, obviously, right? So shout out to Myles Garrett. So yeah, I'm happy Huntley knew. It said the Browns organization only seems to play with what? A rule. Oh, to play switcheroo with the black QBs. Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what I'm like. Why is everybody suggesting that a black QB is the only one and Ty Simpson and maybe Mac Jones that should go? Why nobody trying to suggest that JJ McCarthy should come to the Browns? Because they don't want to wreck his career. Is Mac Jones gonna really make it? Depending on how much money it is, but I doubt it because he could show up the Manny kid. Ty Simpson fits. That's why I don't think it's Cornell Tate. I think it's Ty Simpson. Now, it could be Cornell Tate and Ty Simpson. It could be for next year. It has already been discussed that the Browns are gearing up for next year. This is a throwaway year for them. But they have to watch how they move because last year was a PR nightmare because they tried to trash the season. So they know they have to be strategic. And if they're bringing in Cornell Tate for next year, they can use him this year to try to lessen, so they think, the narrative from 20 million people about Shedeur because he's right there in Ohio. And when it comes to doing all of these events in Ohio, Cornell Tate, he becomes the face of the team. That's why I think the Browns get him, but I don't think it's as high as people think because they like to devalue people. The fact that they didn't even mention Jordan Tyson tells you that they know Jordan Tyson went to Colorado and he knows Shedeur. And I think Jordan Tyson came out and said he would like to play with Shedeur. I was like, well, that means it ain't gonna happen. That's how it works. Shedeur knows that's how it works. I think he started to catch on real fast. It says Shiloh is a great choice for the Browns. I think so. So Shedeur can have somebody up there. Probably why it's not gonna happen. But if there was a lawsuit, it might happen, right? If there was a lawsuit. Myles is tired. Yeah, Myles is tired of the stuff. Myles is tired. Myles is like, look here. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in what y'all got going on. I'm on my free time. I'm on vacation. Forget y'all, right? Remember they had a fit when Travis got baptized when he was off? See, I think this is about control. I think they enjoy the narrative of suggesting Malik Willis, Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray. Who else? Huntley, Justin Fields. It was Trinidad Shambless. It was Dante, and you see what they're doing with Trinidad. So that's black quarterbacks. And I probably didn't even name everybody. Yeah, I said Justin Fields, right? Okay. They have named 7 black quarterbacks that should come over there. Are we not supposed to know that it's obvious that you just want to stack black quarterbacks together as triplets and just rotate them because the season is trash to you? You have already decided to trash this season because you're gearing up for next year. If you brought in Isaiah Bond in 25, thinking the Manning kid was coming out in 26, you were gearing up for 26. So it makes sense to think that at 26, you bring Monken over, who recruited the Manning kid to Georgia. You bring Tom Telesco over, who scouts for Peyton Manning or scouting for Peyton Manning in the NFL, whatever that means. And you made sure Monkey got hired, which is why you brought Telesco in. You stacking the dominoes for the Manning kids. So Cornell Tate could be that. Cornell Tate could be multi-purpose. Come on in, we'll make you the star wide receiver. We're done with Jeudy, we'll need you no more. And they don't. Because we know what to look for with Jeudy, right? We know what to look for with Jeudy. And that's Judy's reputation that will be trashed. So either he gonna be over there and be wide receiver 2, because they know if they try it, they know what's coming. They know that's why they need to just get rid of the saboteurs. People gonna be looking at Joel Bitonio to see what he doing. Cam Robinson come back, they're gonna be looking at him. If KT Levinson come back, they're gonna be looking at him. Ethan Posick, I'm gonna be looking at him, right? Jerry Jeudy, everybody gonna be looking at Jerry Jeudy. Everybody. So Cornell Tate fits, but he's black, and I don't think that they want to get a black quarterback top 5. And he might to another team. I didn't look up to see who else Cornell Tate was interviewing with. Let me see who he's Cornell Tate 30 for 30s. I hope it's not just the Browns. 30 for 30s. Let's see who else is he meeting with. Let's see what comes up. The Browns hosted Ohio State wide receiver Cornell Tate for a top 30 pre-draft visit on March 5th. So he already had his meeting as part of their preparations for the 2025 NFL draft. As a local prospect, Ohio Tate's visit did not count against the team's limit of 30. So see, he multi-purpose. I can bring you in and it don't even count because you're local. Yeah, I don't know about this. The team's limit of 30, and he is considered a potential target for Cleveland in the first round. Could be 32. It said Tate met with the Browns in Berea, Ohio, following a formal meeting at the NFL Combine. So he had a formal meeting at the Combine. He went to the 30 for 30, just like Shedeur. He's supposed to be a first-round pick, just like Shedeur. And that was on Thursday. So they met on Thursday in Berea. And here comes Jerry Jeudy in the picture working out with Shedeur. Interesting. It makes that picture even that more interesting. Now I just need to know whose idea it was. It don't really matter. If it was Shedeur saying, hey, Jeudy, you want to work out? The fact that he said yes, when normally he don't like to stay extra and do extra work, says a lot. So it really doesn't matter whose idea it was. It's the fact that he was there when he don't like to do off the clock type stuff. That's already been discussed from last year, right? He didn't feel like he had to do that kind of stuff. It said his draft stock. It said Tate is highly regarded as a playmaker with a strong contested catch ability, 12 catches on 14 opponents, and is viewed as a potential top 10 pick. I like it. So he should be gone by pick number 11. He should be off the board. I wonder if the Browns are prepared to pay him first round money, top 10. They have the number 6 pick, I think, and another one, 6 and 24, I think, or something like that, or 6 and 21. I have to look. It says Tate is seen as a needed ball winner for the Browns receiving room. Now, if they wanted to win this year, I say okay. But if they only want to win 6 games, unless I want you to come in and chill out for a year like they probably wanted from Isaiah Bond. Because clearly that was the expectation. It said Tate is as a needed ball winner for the receiving corps. It's that background. In his collegiate career at Ohio State, Tate recorded 121 receptions for 1,872 yards and 14 touchdowns. Now remember, they could have got Travis Hunter last year, right? But they didn't. They wanted Jeudy instead to keep him. They could have had Shedeur and Travis Hunter. Tate is considered a top-tier receiver prospect for the 2026 class, with scouting reports highlighting his polished route running and ability to win in tight spaces. Oh, that sounds really good. All that sounds really good. Where is he from? Uh-oh. It's a lot of police cars flying up the street in the rain. And they're loud. I see lights and hear sirens. He's from Chicago, Illinois. And he attended Marist High School in Chicago before transferring to IMG in Florida for his junior and senior year. Oh, okay. So yeah, he's good. He's good. I don't know who else he's meeting with, but right now he's on a Shedeur Sanders route. Really, the Browns gravitate towards him. Yeah, we want you to be the first round pick. Everybody know it. We telling everybody. We put that out there and then cut bait. Not saying they're gonna do that to him, but it's possible. It's possible they get Ty Simpson and not him. I think he's good, but I don't think they're gonna want him to come in and ball up. And you saw what happened when Harold Fanning Jr. was over there balling out. They lessened his impact, right? You saw them move him right on out the way. And they talking about he's the tight end of the future. I'm like, well, should he be the tight end one right now? I'm like, after the performance he had, they don't want to win right now. Somebody said something about the Browns. I said, do they want to win? I said, because if they keep it Jerry Jeudy, if they keep it Joel Bitonio, no, they don't. They want to repeat of what they had last year because those two led the way in their respective divisions, their respective departments, their respective positions. Why isn't Joel Bitonio dismissed and gone from the team like Jack Conklin? Didn't they move on from him? So why you don't move on from Bitonio? His contract is up. Why bring him back for 1 year? Titus Howard can hold it down for 1 year, but you don't want that. You don't want that. People need to ask themselves, do the Browns want to win before they start talking about who we going to get? Do they want to win this year? Are they planning for next year? Okay, I can see them getting Cornell Tate for next year, like they brought in Isaiah Bond a year early. It said hopefully Shiloh's healing his knee from the snowboarding fall. It wasn't bad, was it? I didn't think it was bad to Lisa. Was it bad, y'all? It said the Browns made it clear to Garrett that they would not be trading him. So instead of trying to force the issue, the now two-time defensive player of the year and single season sack king. Hold on 1 second. See, let me know, Tamika, what's that? I mean, they did say they weren't planning to trade him, but I think he's entitled to his off time. I don't think there's any reason why Myles Garrett needs to come in there and, what you looking for him for? Don't they get free time to themselves in the off season? I don't think it's in his contract that he has to respond to their phone call. In other words, when I call you pick up, I don't think it's that. They do demand loyalty, but I don't think in the offseason like that. It said Myles another speeding ticket, but not much talk about it. Good. Because I didn't know why we had to know anyway. Because we don't know about anybody else's speeding tickets. Myles is only human. Thank you. He feels them clearly. If this happened, he went silent, right? In the offseason after Schwartz was not hired and Monken was, then give him his space, right? Give him his space. He's human. He's upset because he been there since 2020. That's what, 6 years? And finally, we get the number 2 defense. I get defensive player of the year, and you snatch my coach out. And he thought he was going to be the head coach. But you bring in this other guy. So now we got to rebuild. So we're not going nowhere this year. So he probably frustrated. That's what I think. It said Brown's organization is extremely dysfunctional and messy. That's what I'm saying. It said Brown ain't answering the phone because he probably think they're calling him to restructure his contract. Oh, that will be a conversation. Can y'all see it now that you see how they're restructuring Denzel Ward contract, restructuring Deshaun contract? Why restructuring Denzel Ward? Nobody else contract over there to restructure? They only got $2 million. That's what it said. I think that's what I looked. I was looking fast. So let me see if I still see it. I thought they were gonna get like 13 for restructuring his contract because they got such a big chunk from such a big chunk from Deshaun. Restructure. Did the award. I mean, they still get the money, but it's the matter of when they get it. If it's guaranteed, I should say. It said yes. All right, let's see what we got. The Browns restructured both Deshaun Watson and Denzel Ward's contracts in March of 2026 to create salary cap space. It said Watson's restructure converted over $44 million of salary into a bonus, freeing up roughly $36 million. Ward's, a smaller move, converted $2.5 million of his roster bonus into a signing bonus, saving $2 million. What? $2.5 million of his roster bonus, saving $2 million must be a cap space. So they took his roster bonus and made it a signing bonus. Why they just don't do that from the beginning? So that's what it's saying. Yeah, it said saving about $2 million in cap space. I mean, was that worth it if you already have 36 from Deshaun? So we talking 38 million in cap space instead of 58, 53. They also added a void year, 2030, to the contract. Interesting. So they said the moves were made to ensure cap compliance. I mean, was there nobody else's contracts that they could restructure that way? Why Denzel and well, I know why Deshaun. Myles Garrett, we're gonna hear that conversation in the future. I think we're gonna hear that conversation in the future. And even though they still get the same money, I don't know why Denzel, if it's only $2 million. I would think you would go after somebody with a larger contract. But let me know your thoughts. Hey, how you doing, Faith? How you doing? Yes, bye, Jeudy. That's what I say. Jerry Jeudy gotta go. That's what I say. It said good evening. Hey, Roger, how you doing? Don't forget, I think time changed tonight, y'all. Jeudy must go. Business as usual. Yep. That's what it is. It says Shiloh will be excellent. Yep, Faith. I think Shiloh will be good in Cleveland. Let's see if he gets any tryouts. It said this is Jeudy's last chance to impress and stay on the team. This might be his last year with the Browns. Yeah, I read his contract. It said his contract was supposed to be good through 2027. But now that they moved out Mooney, see, I noticed that if they use these people, they scoop them out. That's a liability to keep that around, right? What if they tell somebody this year? That way, they kept Kevin Stefanski happy. That contract, getting that raise, going to another team, being rehired, kept him happy, right? Because we know they have media contacts. He could have told them all sorts of kind of things. He did keep using the word script right at the end, right? Right at the end before he was gone. It's like he knew he was going to be the one gone. And apparently, so did some other people. I felt like some other people knew too. But Jeudy is interesting. Jeudy and Batonio. They seemingly trying to keep Batonio. But the 33rd visit with Cornell Tate. Message. That's a message. Ty Simpson isn't a message to Shedeur because Shedeur better than Ty Simpson. And they already said they were going to get him for a low draft pick anyway. And Shedeur could be gone next year. And Ty Simpson be right over there with Arch Manning, which I think is the plan. Personally, I think that's the plan. Now, if they get him for a high draft pick, then they're not getting the Manning kid. But I'm pretty sure they didn't come this far if the Manning kid is coming out to abandon the plan, because that was their plan when they was pre-drafted with Shedeur. That's why I say they're doing the same with Cornell Tate. But what's different about Cornell Tate is he is considered the local kid because he went to OSU and there's a marketing factor there. And I'm pretty sure Haslam wants to get off of, Shedeur being the talk of everything. I feel like he sees Cornell Tate, as somebody that could take away the conversation about Shedeur. Like, Shedeur was a novelty in his mind because Shedeur was new. Now we got another rookie He went to Ohio State. That's going to sell tickets. The question is, are they going to wait and get him at number 6? He's supposed to be gone top 10. With the Panthers getting Stephon Diggs, that tells me that they're not getting anybody. With the Atlanta Falcons moving off of Mooney, they're going to get a wide receiver. And if the Browns keep Jeudy, Botonio, and bring in a Mooney type person, and it don't have to be Mooney. It could be anybody, like the dude that went missing after Caleb. He stopped running on his routes. The dude that stopped running on his routes when it was Jameis Winston. Any of them. Any of those people that prove that they can set up their own quarterback and they own black quarterback because they black too. Look for the sabotage. So we're going to see. We're going to see. I hope they're not playing in this kid's face. I hope he have other 30 for 30s other than them. He's supposed to be a top 10 pick. I would imagine he meet with other teams. It's just maybe they didn't put it out there. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Because see, now that you see how they're using these receivers against these black quarterbacks, they're going to be strategic about where they send these black receivers and who they get. They need somebody that's controllable. They need somebody that's going to skip to Malu, that's going to be okay with dropping passes. People said, somebody sent me James. James was talking about how in Dallas, CD Lamb, how many passes he dropped. I'm like, oh, Lord. Right? Keon Coleman. Is that what's going on in Baltimore? They asked him to do it and he said no. So therefore they hate him because he know their secret. That's what I'm saying. So there's something happening here, right? So we need to keep abreast of what's happening with Mooney, where he lands, who it is. I'll probably keep up with who it is the Falcons get, but if y'all know, let me know. And what the Browns do at wide receiver, what they do with Jeudy, and what they do with Cornell Tate after the 30-30 visit. Because there's an agenda. It's that, oh Lord, Jeudy is not it. I'm sorry, but I don't believe he should stay in Cleveland. I don't either, Faith. It's that build up to only sabotage him in the end. Yep, it's exactly what it could be. It's that every team knows that Jeudy is sorry. Where can they trade him to? It's that I don't think any team is interested in this locker room antics. You know what they can trade him to? And I ain't saying they're going to do it, but I can see it. The Tennessee Titans. Green Bay, Atlanta, the Jets, Arizona, if their quarterback is black, Chicago. That probably not going to happen though, but Chicago, Kansas City, because they about that now. And who else? They got Stephon Diggs in Carolina, so not him. Tampa Bay. So yeah, Baker Mayfield too. So they like, you know what? We sick of you, so you got to go. So any of those teams that have a black quarterback, think about it. 6 coaches that were fired had black quarterbacks. What is that to do? Exactly what Munkin is doing in Cleveland. Yeah, we're gonna have a competition. Yeah, I'm not committed to anybody. I read it said Munkin is not committed to any of the quarterbacks that he inherited. See, they don't make Munkin talk about that. The most he said is, well, yeah, there's going to be a competition. I don't see what it would be. He didn't decide that there was a competition. He just supported the competition. That was probably in his contract. I'm not coming in here and being no Stefanski. Oh, don't forget the Philadelphia Eagles, because people trying to move A.J. Brown around. I forgot about that. Yep, up there too. Yep. Dallas, he can get up in Dallas. They sent Pickens over there. So, but yeah, CD Lamb, I think it's second they were saying it drops like that. It's crazy how they get him to do this. It must be something in the water. Must be something in the water. It's that, think about it. With no first team reps, surviving wristband gate, ripped off fingernail, and still threw for 350 yards Pro Bowl, 12 is QB1 hands down. Facts. And now they're coming out saying, well, we want him to no, not coming out and saying they want him to start. People are starting to say that Shedeur is likely the week 1 starter. See, that's supposed to coach you in to make you believe that Stefanski was the problem and he gone. but you sent him somewhere else. So, and maybe they feel like that's not on them, the Browns, because they wash their hands of it. But we see you. You still have Jerry Jeudy, and you still have Joel Bitonio. And we're going to see who you bring back. If you bring back Cam Robinson and feel like, oh, we got to keep him around. Because they got rid of everybody else except for like the tight ends, Blake Whiteheart, and Brenda Bates, and Canales. Pay attention to the tight end and see if they draft a tight end. Because they said Harold Fanning Jr. was a tight end of the future. They got rid of Njoku. So who is tight end one now? I think it might be Whiteheart. Let's see if they get somebody like later on in the draft or something like that. Yeah. It said Jerry Jeudy showed his card. He can't be trusted. Facts. Absolutely. That's straight facts. I would never call it that. Isaiah said he showed his 304 card. Facts. It said the fans love Myles. He should be true to himself. Right. I totally agree. The organization is so dysfunctional that their Browns are making cap money space for 2027 to get a white QB in round one to give a nice size money contract to. I don't trust them at all. That's a good point. I never even considered that they was making cap space for that, but I thought they were making cap space to bring in a veteran quarterback. That's what I thought. But when you look at the quarterbacks they have brought in, they have not paid substantially anybody other than Deshaun. And that's how you know something transpired where he was awarded every dime he paid back out. So it was just a publicity stunt to save face by the league to say that he settled all these cases. Well, what's the big deal if he settled them if you gave him the money back? Including the the $1 million fine or the $5 million fine he had? His contract was 5 years. So that's $1 million a year. But you gave him $46 million a year instead of $45 million a year. So you baked that $5 million fine right on in there. Tell me I'm wrong. They gave him all his money back and paid the fine. They don't want him to get out here and show out. Just like they don't want Kyler Murray because they colluded against Kyler Murray. That's why it's going to be shocking to see what they do with Lamar. Maybe he's going to be unavailable. Because he was unavailable a little bit this year, and that was unlike Lamar. I said, look for the same thing with Shedeur. When they're comfortable with Shedeur being the QB1 starter, just like Lamar being the QB1 starter, but you see how they cheat Lamar, how they hold him back. It's the same script that Monkey brought with him. I don't have to publicly dehumanize Shedeur to keep him from winning games. Let's see if they bring back Bitonio and Jerry Jeudy. And what they do with the tight end. Yeah, that's what you got to watch. All right. And say draft tape from Ohio State and cut Jerry Jeudy. If they can, take that dead cap space. If you're going to take it anyway. See you, and I would want to be you. It says, is Shiloh still interested in playing in the NFL? As far as we know, Coach, he is. As far as we know, he is. Yeah. Thank you so much. It said, yeah, if y'all didn't want, so y'all didn't want Stephon Diggs. Who would you take? Stephon Diggs or Jerry Jeudy? Which one? I take Stephon Diggs over Jerry Jeudy, and I know I read all the issues. Supposedly, that's the reason why they cut or got rid of or released, however you want to say it, Stephon Diggs. But why let him go to the Carolina Panthers and bring that with him over there? New member, who's that? Isaiah Israel. Oh, I thought you were a member already. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much. Absolutely, just straight crickets. It said, hey, Nisa girl, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It said, had to upgrade. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. So make sure you watch the family members video, the one that said family tea time. That one was good. That was the first one. It said, if you're thinking of upgrading the membership, just upgrade the membership. We already starting to do family member videos just for family members. Make it different. Had to upgrade. Sis just showing some love. It said, I really appreciate your hard work and commitment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It feels nice to be seen. It said, preach Nola Queen. Tyson is a perfect fit and a player that Shedeur have played with before. Right. Not even discussing Tyson tells you we're not interested in keeping Shedeur, but they never talk about trading him. So they're going to wait. They have a moment when they're going to move him. They have already decided what that's going to be. So, like I said, he gonna either be like Deshaun and he stay there the whole time until it's just over, or like Jameis Winston, not really taken seriously, comfortable with the security of a backup, because that's what it says on the website. They're not moving off of that and bringing in Cornell Tate or somebody with a big audience, because Ohio State, they got that allegiance from the fans. That's the Browns' way of trying to smother Shedeur Sanders' narrative, because they don't want to be held accountable. Pay attention to Batonio and Jeudy. Face that as organized crime. I've said it before, it's a RICO. It's that any of these QBs will be silent for the Browns. Just think they're taking O-line first. I mean, they might, but think about it, Coach. They have Titus Howard. They've already made it publicly known that they want to retain Tevin Jenkins, and they're probably not going to do that for a lot of money. And which is surprising because he only played 3 or 4 games when Shedeur played. So they saw something. I don't know what they saw. Who else? Titus Howard, Tevin Jenkins, that's 2 out of the 5. Batonio, that's 3, because he's not going nowhere. And he's not even talking about asking to be traded, right? So he just hanging in the background till they get all their priorities out the way and they got some money for him. Probably the money that they just got in the free agency, because that's what the money is supposed to be used for, to re-sign their players, the players that they have on reserve, the players they want to keep like Batonio. That's what the money's for, free agency. So they have plans. So Tevin Jenkins, we should hear about a contract from him. Blake Whiteheart, a contract for him. Then there's that player that was a wide receiver that didn't even play professional ball last year. They got reserves on him. That's who they gonna sign. That's probably who they gonna sign. I don't think they want to do too much this year. I think they want to keep the picks they have and use those picks as currency to try to get the number 1 pick next year. Remember, they didn't do too much at the trade deadline. They could have traded Shedeur then. So either Shedeur's being held hostage like Deshaun, or he going to be devalued like Jameis, because they insist that he should be comfortable with being a backup and comfortable with the security of being a backup, forgetting that he don't need that money. They want him to be a backup, period. Which is why Mike Tomlin, who don't work for the league no more, was told what? To draft the Colorado Star quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, and make him QB2. That's why they wanted him from the jump. And they decided, to hell with it, just push him all the way down and make it harder for him to get to QB1. So they affected his money, but he played the most games last year. He played more games than Dylan, and Dylan make more than Shedeur. That's supposed to sting. That's supposed to unnerve him. I'm like, do they want him to quit? I don't think so. Because they know he can take his following with him. So I don't think they want him to quit. I think they were serious when they put on the NFL website, they want him to be a backup. You don't put that on your website if you don't believe that, right? You don't let somebody write an article like that and you put it on your website. That's what you want. That's what you've always wanted. And when you said we don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur, and you drafted him so late and tried to put him on a team when he was behind another black quarterback, and all you keep trying to do is bring black quarterbacks to Cleveland, well, you just telling us Cleveland is some kind of receptacle, a catch and release program for black quarterbacks to be devalued and careers to be derailed. You're telling us this with the moves that you're making. Tell me I'm wrong. So now everybody knows what it is, except for the very unsuspecting fans that's not paying as close of attention. Every time the Browns media talk about bringing somebody, 9 times out of 10, they're black. That means the Browns media know the team is a catch and release. That means the Browns media know the team is not trying to win. That means all of the people that keep suggesting only black quarterbacks know that they're discriminating against black quarterbacks. And if there's any kind of investigation, all of their phones ought to be included in Discovery. All of their content ought to be included in Discovery. You obviously know. That's why you keep suggesting only black quarterbacks. You're part of the discriminatory practice against black quarterbacks in Cleveland. Nobody's dumb enough to think because you're only bringing in only black quarterbacks that's enough to say you're not racist. It's how you treat them. Do you not realize we can see you and how you treated Shedeur? And you're capturing and holding Deshaun hostage? And you want to only bring quarterbacks that have already been colluded against? I'm surprised you didn't want to bring Lamar over there. That's the only name I didn't hear. But you want to bring Russell Wilson, and you know Russell Wilson was colluded against. You know he was only given a 1-year contract for $10 million because they wanted that to be it, unless they put him in some very humiliating situation like behind Shedeur. Why can't he go over there to Minnesota? Why can't he go up there to Indianapolis? Because you don't want him to take no white quarterback's job. Only a black quarterback. That's discriminatory and it's evil. Pay attention holistically because that's what's going on. Thank you, Faith. It said, I think AB is on the cheap. Yeah, you know that's what it is. You know that's what it is. Coach said he'll take any of those wide receivers. Let's see who they get. Because remember, they have the exclusive rights to a wide receiver that didn't even play in a professional league last year. He was so happy when he got the call. Let's see what his contract looked like. Let's see. I bet it's for 1 year. Or be a 2-year contract, and he never gonna see the second year. He never gonna see the second year. I hate the fact that AB is doing these people's bidding. Yup, he is. AB got to do what he got to do until Deshaun leaves. Why? Because AB didn't bring in Deshaun. You see how that lie stuck? Just like the lie that the kid that called Shedeur was the defensive coordinator's son. You see how they let these lies stick? Haslam brought in Deshaun. AB free to go. But his melanin is too useful at the moment. Because I need somebody to stick it to Shedeur, and it ain't going to be me and Stefanski gone. And Monk is saying it ain't going to be him either. So, Andrew Berry, it's on you. I need somebody to cheat all these black players with their contracts. All the players, why they want to restructure Denzel Ward contract for $2 million. You did all that for $2 million. Really? You hard up? You that hard up for $2 million in free agency when you have 36 from Deshaun? Okay. Thank you, Nisi. Thank you so much. It said they have an agenda. It said we gonna watch them. Yeah, we definitely watch it. We definitely watch it. Definitely orchestrated sabotage. That's what it is. It said don't know if the Panthers organization want Diggs and his baggage. Apparently, it was reported that he's prioritizing the Panthers. I don't know why he would go there other than Bryce Young. I mean, they do have leverage on him. They love leverage. They love leverage like I like Boba Tea a lot. A lot. A lot. Except for ain't no organized crime involved in buying Boba Tea. It said, I just read that the Dolphins are interested in Jordan. Oh, Jordan Tyson? Oh, yeah. Remember yesterday we were talking and they said Tua was on the move? I wonder where he going. Oh, y'all said y'all thought Tua was going to Atlanta. That's what y'all said. That's what people were saying. Hit the like button for me, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 107 of us hit the like button on this fine Saturday night. Thank you so much. Don't forget, if you want to send me to the Hawks game, my Cash App is what she said sports. The name of the channel altogether, $. If you want to send me, I'll do the other one later. After the Hawks game. Oh, that's right. This is coming up first. Don't worry about that. I'll probably just, I don't know. It's at 11 o'clock in the morning. If y'all want me to wake up and go film Alabama A&M in Atlanta, it's $25. So Cash at me and I'll go to that game and bring back some footage and hopefully we get to see some of the Sanders and or Shalimar for sure because she plays on the team. So let me know. If y'all want me to get up, I'll go. But it's gonna cost $25. And I'll live stream it. Actually, that just helps with the expenses because I gotta get there and all this kind of other stuff. Thank you, Ramon. It said, I hope Atlanta fans keep the pressure on Stefanski. You know what somebody said, Faith? They said, I think Atlanta has to win this year. I said they do. And I really believe that they was going to try to get Tyler Shaw through there. See, they want to prove that they were justified in drafting Tyler Shaw. So they've been over there working with him, propping him up, pitting him against Spencer Rattler, even though Spencer Rattler was a better quarterback, but they want to devalue him. Hell, he could end up in Cleveland. And look at how his career's gone, right? Never really had a true fair opportunity, and it was never meant to be that way. And didn't he come from South Carolina? So Lenore Sellers better take notes. He better take notes and get that bag while you over there. Because apparently there's some kind of agenda to try to curtail NIL. I'm like, I wouldn't play no more. You know what? I would be like, I just pay for my education. Screw y'all. Forget it. Don't worry about it. That's crazy though. It said, looks like Shedeur and Jeudy are good. Yeah, you can't see that through that photo, Coach. Shedeur is smart. It said Andrew Berry better not screw this up. The O-line better be good. I know that's right. AB job is on the line. He's not going to mess it up. Actually, you know what I think? I think they're going to put him on the hot seat by who they get in the draft and who they get in free agency. So what you're hearing right now is, oh, the Browns don't keep Shedeur in the shot. So it looked like, no general manager activities is happening. So it looks like the owner is cool with Shedeur and Deshaun being there. Nah, we don't need another quarterback, but they bringing in Ty Simpson for a 30 for 30. Right? So I think they gonna use Barry like they did the they unjustly fired the GM in Atlanta, and people were upset. And then the next thing you know, James Pierce Jr. crashes out, and then they blame the GM. You see how that went? I was like, did he get paid to crash out or something? Because this is weird. Like, people were upset. So it's like things are happening in Atlanta to go, okay, I see why you fired Raheem Morris. Okay, I see why you GM. But the OC got off scot-free. He just got hired to another team, the Tampa Bay Bucks. So pay attention to, if you over there and you watch Tampa, see what happened to Baker Mayfield, because it's time for him to start talking another contract. I don't think they want that. I think they get ready to try to devalue him. With the script, it just gonna look a little different. It said looks can be deceiving, Coach. Facts. Yeah, you can't look at that and see nothing. It's time for us to get our own. It's past time. Past time. And hopefully these guys are inspired by Unrivaled Basketball. Just start a 7-on-7 league. Just like in the Pro Bowl, the 7-on-7 game was fun. You don't even need a league. Just get two teams and let them play against each other. And another player get two teams and they play against each other. Just do it that way. It makes sense. And you better do it before they put in your contract that you can't do it, because non-compete clauses are illegal now. They used to be a thing, but I think they're illegal now. And but they probably, like, Unrivaled is tethered to the WNBA, meaning the players that play in Unrivaled have to be on a WNBA roster. So you better go out here and just start a 7-on-7 league before you can't, and put in your cousin name. You know how that go. Don't put it in your name. So y'all can have somewhere to go. Right? Let's see what happened to Cornell Tate in the draft. All right, we get ready to wrap up, guys. I got to get some sleep and I got to eat. It said Michael Penix says that he will be ready for the Falcons season opener. His injury takes 9 months to heal. Stefanski will bring in Tua and Dylan. I heard Michael Penix Jr. is good to go. And Stefanski looked like he turned white as a ghost because he don't want him to come back. He was hoping that Michael Penix Jr. injury kept him from having to Shedeur Sanders, Michael Penix Jr. Notice how they did Patrick Henry last year. It said, of course, they are trying to control the players. Who is Patrick Henry? Derrick Henry? Or you mean Derrick Henry? Or who we talking about, Faith? It said it's always been a throwaway year since Haslam. That's what the fans say. The fans have finally seen the light that they're not going to do nothing under Haslam. That's what it is. He's just trying to keep the PR nightmare in bed. He don't want that to erupt again. And he feels like Stefanski being gone is enough. Cornell Tate coming in is enough. Or Cornell Tate not coming in. Ty Simpson coming in is enough. And we're going to blame that on AB, because just like we blame Deshaun. So I'm gonna make Shedeur Sanders fans mad with AB for bringing in Ty Simpson or any veteran quarterback that could cause problems. That's what's happening. I'm like, do Barry know he being set up? I don't know. I can't look out for him because he ain't looking out for the players. He got to look out for the players. It said Jerry Jeudy is feeling threatened by. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. That's exactly why I think he was out there, because they said it. He don't do no extracurricular work. He don't do no extra credit work. He don't. Did you see him do it last year? Think about everybody you saw Shedeur throwing with. It was Jerry Jeudy. I think maybe one time after it was talked about that Shedeur wasn't getting no development and they had the posture. Then again, never mind. Take that back. It was the scout team. Shedeur was out there throwing to the scout team. Yep. So that's it, guys. So I agree with Val. I think he's feeling a little threatened. Because if they wanted him to do what he did last year, he didn't even got to show up early. That's why he never stayed late in practice, because he was working for them. That's why they had him sharing the locker with Flacco. And that's why he was stopping and running, stopping on his routes. So if I'm doing all that for you, I ain't got to come in early and help you do what I'm gonna do that for. I mean, I could go and pretend, but it ain't gonna fool nobody. And it's not. In fact, it's stirring up conversation. And the fact that Cornell Tate came up there on the 5th and met in Berea, and here we got Jerry Jeudy over here, it's like, And then Moody. When I heard Moody got let go, I said, okay, all right, okay. The Browns are just like when Callahan got let go and Daboll got let go. They should have let Stefanski go, but they kept Stefanski. And I said, if they keep Stefanski, he has a purpose, because he know where the bodies are buried and he got more work to do. And you see how he failed up. And they over there in Atlanta trying to control who puts out the narrative as far as podcasters. I was like, y'all don't have no black podcasters? I thought they did, because I thought I was following some. Maybe they're busy right now. So when I heard them talking about Moody, they was like, well, we don't wish him nothing bad, but it's good he moved on, because he had those drops. And that's how they said it. And then they were like, but then he got hurt. I'm like, watched him drop those passes. I know what they was talking about. And the wide receiver coach got fired. Not Moody, but the OC was the one that kept putting Moody in there to fail, just like Tommy Reese put in Jerry Jeudy. And Tommy Reese went on the record and said, after Jerry Jeudy caused all that mischief, I love Jerry Jeudy. We're going to keep featuring him, even though he was failing the team. And his D+ self went to Atlanta with Stefanski. And now they're going to get somebody else. Let's see who they get. It says Stefanski will not wait for Michael Penix to heal. He will bring in Tua and Dylan to QB1 and QB2. Michael Penix is already healthy. The problem is, so is Deshaun. And as you can see, they don't let Deshaun play. So what's the difference between Michael Penix Jr. and Deshaun injury? Long-term season in the injury, the doctor has to sign off on you. Penix say he healing faster than expected. Stefanski, I can tell the way his facial expression was, he wasn't expecting that. He didn't want to come do what he did to Shedeur publicly again. I guess he was like, okay, that was just too much. But he's still talking in word salad, so he's no different. He just don't want to be on the record. So I think he was thinking, if Penix was still injured, I could do what I need to do, or what y'all want me to do. And that's push him out the way like I did Deshaun. Remember, that was Deshaun's coach too. Let's see what happened. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to get out of here because I got to go eat. This was good. We can continue the conversation in the chat if you want to. These conversations get really, really good as of late. Shout out to y'all for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And who knows what we're going to talk about tomorrow, but it's probably going to involve the Browns. And women's basketball. What's that, like the women's basketball team? The USA women's basketball team all got together and start practicing. So I don't know. I might make a video about that. But shout out to them. Angel Reese, Paige Buckers, Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum. I saw a lot of all the like stars, right? So they finished with Unrivaled Basketball, the ones that did play. Now they on US Team USA Women's Basketball. So they playing at that. So we'll probably be checking in on that. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll be back tomorrow night. We can continue the conversation in the chat. See y'all later. Thank y'all for holding it down.